What's up, guys? My name is Daniel Agbaji. I'm a graduate student here at Emporia State University, where I'm studying my master's program in Library and Information Science, and the other one also in Instructional Design and Technology, more like a dual major program. For this class, I'm going to teach you guys how you can actually search for the right information, and at the same time, how you can make an informed decision. That is the objective of this class. And to do this, I've come up with a topic, and that topic is Googling being smart while drinking coffee. In order for me to do this very well, I think it would be ideal for the class to be divided into two. So I will have a set of students being in agreement to this very fact. And what you're going to be saying is, if drinking coffee really makes you smart. So, for every one of you that will go with that very idea, you will have a yellow card. So I want you to put the yellow card on your desk if you actually buy into the idea that drinking coffee makes you smart. However, just in case you don't actually buy into that idea and you think not drinking coffee is a smart choice to make, then put the right card, just a red one, on your desk. And then I will get in touch with you. Perhaps during the class, we'll be able to come up with a conclusion, an informed decision. Okay, so I'm going to teach you what makes librarians really smart. Sometimes you meet a librarian and she'll be able to give you all the answers you actually need to make a decision. All the questions you have asked is being answered, most of which are actually true. Some of it might not be very factual, some of which you have to really evaluate. So I'm going to give you a simple formula that actually most librarians make use of. And that formula is called the SEU. You heard me right. It's called the SEU. S stands for search, E for evaluation, and the U for use of information. So, in this very class, I'm going to teach you how you can search for information, especially online, how you're going to be evaluating that information, and how you're going to be making use of that very information. Not every information you come across online is authentic, and that is the reason why we need to evaluate them, so that we can actually tell for sure if that information is ideal to make an informed decision. What do we need for this class? For this class, I want you to get it to use your computer. It could be your iPhone, your tablet, your pad, whatever it is that can actually get you connected to the internet. And then we can take it up from there. Thank you, and have a great day. Drink coffee, make you smart. I don't drink it as a smart idea. The choice is yours. See you in class.
Introduction to what we're going to be in class. It's kind of a way of trying to tell you ahead of time what we will be doing together when I come over to the school. Well, Emporia Christian School, you guys are really wonderful. I heard you guys are very smart, and I think this is not going to take you much time to get acquainted with. So, the title of the lesson is Googling Being Smart While Drinking Coffee. Well, this very title, it's more like a two-way thing. Okay, you can either agree to the fact that one could become very smart when you drink coffee, or you can disagree to the fact that when you don't drink coffee, you're acting smart. Well, we're going to find out in this very tutorial by actually trying to search for information, and we're going to be evaluating that information, and we're going to be making an informed decision. First, let me tell you a little bit about what coffee is. Well, a lot of people do take coffee, but they don't have an adequate information to back up their fact why they actually take coffee or the reasons why they take coffee. Well, coffee is a soft drink and it's made from the coffee seed. Well, more like a peanut seed or something like that, a bean seed or something like that. And it contains caffeine. Caffeine is more like a chemical, that helps one to actually stay alert, mentally alert. And it's wonderful to some people because they actually, after drinking coffee, they don't sleep. Some people also feel sleepy after drinking coffee. Some people feel like, they are mentally alert. Some people feel like they are being drained mentally whenever they take coffee. It all depends on it. That is the reason why we want to know if being smart has something to do with drinking coffee, or maybe if you don't drink coffee, you're taking a smart decision. So, for this very class, and when I come to the actual practical class, I want you guys to either choose um, either side of the group you're going to belong. If you are thinking about taking the option that you think, yeah, drinking coffee actually makes you smart, then you're going to be holding a yellow card when I come over to the class in that very group individually. And if you think you not drinking coffee is a smart decision to make, then you're going to hold a red card. And then at the end of the day, we are going to come up to think about the informed decisions we are making. So quickly, as I told you guys, we are using the SEU formula to actually look at the way we can verify or come up with a conclusion about this very topic. So we're going to be searching for various information resources that contains fact about coffee, why we should drink coffee or why we should not drink coffee, and if drinking coffee makes you smart or if not drinking it is a smart decision to make. Do you understand? Great. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Perfect. Now, in order for us to do this, I want you to know that to search online for relevant information resources has to do with two things. You have the open source information resource and you have the authoritative source information resource. And for this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the open source. Well, the open source refers to the information resources which are actually free and you don't pay for it, and everyone can actually have access to it. Example of this is the information that your search engine such as Google actually provides for you. Google is your search engine that you put your search terms inside whatever you want to search, and then it pops up. And you have some other open source like the open source journals where you don't pay for money but you get books for free. These are all open source kind of information that you can get. And then you have authoritative sources. Well, in this case, the information you're going to be getting there has to do with, you actually maybe getting a password and you might have to pay for it. It's not free to everyone. And some of the information might be authoritative. Some information resources that might be authoritative might also be free. But in most cases, you have to pay for them or subscribe to them, or your library has to actually subscribe to them, and then you can make use of it free. Example of this is the journal publications that are scholarly involved. So now when we are done with the information searching, practically we'll go over to the information evaluation. And in this place, we're going to be talking about the source of that very information that we have gotten. Perhaps maybe we went over to, let's say, Google search, and then we search for the term coffee. We want to know where that very information is located, which of the website talks about coffee in the way we actually prefer it to be, or the way that is very authentic. And then we want to also talk about the author of that very information. And then we look at the publisher as well. Which company actually published that very information? If it is just a company that anyone can actually come up with, or if it is an authentic registered body or organization that is well known. And that's what we're going to be thinking about when we are actually evaluating such information. After that, we look at informed decision. Now we have been able to search for the information we want to look for, and then we went over to evaluate the information by looking into the sources of the information, the author that actually came up or created the information, and then the publisher that actually made the information publicly known. And then here we're going to be talking about informed decision. Informed decision in this case is actually making use of the information based on the fact that it's original. So we're considering the originality of the information, and we're going to consider how factual it is. Originality in this case has to do with if the resource which could be video, PDF, or audio format, if it is not fake. Yeah, it should be original. For instance, when you go to Facebook, most of the postings on Facebook are not original. Some of them are actually fake. You hear a news that is actually not original. It is fake. Why? Because its source is actually not very authentic. And after that, we look at facts, how factual the information is. The information we have on ground, is it biased? Is it something that is indisputable? Is it something that is well known, something that everyone can actually agree with, something that has proofs, that one can actually relate with? That's what we're going to be considering when we talk about how factual the information is before we can actually make an informed decision. So, guys, having said that, before we finish the lesson together, I'm going to be looking into um, evaluating. We're going to be doing a practical work where we're going to evaluate the information resource that we're going to be searching together. So we're going to be doing that based on the author of that very information, the publisher, the source of that very information, so that we can make the right decision. And then let us do the actual searching. Now, in order to search for our information, we have to use search terms. Search terms are the words you use that you type on the search bar or into the database that you want to search for that very information for. Those are the words you use. So that's what we call search terms. And then you have sources to search for the right information. So you have to find or first come up with the different sources you need to search for the information. Like if you want to search on a website, or you want to go over to a library, a physical library, or you want to go over to a database, like a database well known like EBSCOhost, which contains a lot of scholarly materials in the field of education, or maybe you want to search in a kind of a social media or whatever you want to search for. And then later on, you want to look at the result. When you search, then we actually consider the result. So, guys, that's all we're going to be doing in the class when I come over, and I cannot wait to have a copy of coffee with every one of you as we get to know a little bit about coffee and using that to know how we can search for right information, evaluate it, and make an informed decision in our everyday lives. So thank you guys. See you in class. Bye.